What if I told you that every shot you're about to see was created with just one light? Sounds hard to believe, right? But some of the most beautiful shots you ever seen were created with single source of light. Take a look at this shot, or this one, or this one. Yep, one light. And when we think about it, every scene lit by natural daylight is doing exactly the same thing. There's only one source, the sun. It's just really powerful one. Today we are replacing the sun with GVM 1200B AIO and seeing how far we can push the single light. Using only this feature, I'll show you how different techniques and modifiers can transform one light into 5 cinematic looks that help tell your story. Let's get into it. Our first setup is a classic window motivated light. Motivated lighting means creating artificial light that feels like it naturally comes from the source within the scene. The goal is simple. Make the audience believe the window is the light source, no matter where the fixture is actually placed. For this shot, I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could recreate realistic daylight in the middle of the night. But for wider shots, it's not enough light the face, you need to light the entire space. That's where the GVM 1200B AIO comes in. With 1200 watt of output, it has enough power to recreate convincing daylight, even the sun isn't cooperating. Here's how we did it. So, we push a single light through the curtains without any modifiers, turning the entire window into one giant soft source. But there's a little trick here. With just one light, we're creating a mix of soft and hard light. We left a small gap between the curtains, allowing the narrow beam of direct light to enter the scene. This harder light creates a subtle edge on our talent, adding contrast and depth to the image. At the same time, light bouncing off the table creates a soft feel and adds sketch light to your eyes. To get that warm sunny day look, I set the light to 3200 Kelvin. By simply adjusting the color temperature, we can create a completely different atmosphere. The crazy part? Even just 7% power, it was enough to light the entire room. To enhance the golden hour feel, I set the camera's white balance to 4500 Kelvin. Our next setup uses strong backlight. Backlighting is a powerful way to create a mystery and atmosphere, while allowing the silhouette to tell a story. We use the same approach here, pushing the light through the curtain window. The fabric adds texture and color, while the darker side curtains shape the light, creating brighter, more focused area in the center. For this setup, light was set to 3200 Kelvin at 17.8% power. I kept the white balance at 4500 Kelvin, but lowered the ISO from 800 to 400 to keep the shadow cleaner and reduce noise. For this shot, we use spotlight attachment with window cookie to simulate sunlight coming through the window. To make the light feel more realistic, we added a piece of old curtain fabric and some artificial leaves in front of the source. Every layer shaped the light, but also reduced its intensity. That's where the powerful feature like GVM 1200B AIO really shines. For this setup, I kept the light at 3200 Kelvin and increased the output to 27% brightness. Using almost the same setup, we can create completely different mood. This technique works especially well in the scene where you want to build tension or keep part of the story hidden. For this shot we use the same spotlight attachment with piece of old curtain fabric in front of the light. We simply adjusted the light position to let the shadows tell the story. I set the light to 3200 Kelvin to create a color contrast between cool ambient light from outside and the warmer light in the room. Our final setup is top lighting. This technique creates strong shadow on the face and body, emphasizing facial structure, adding depth and sometimes hiding the eyes. Character under single overhead source can feel isolated, vulnerable, or even threatening. That's why top lighting is so common in thrillers, horror and mystery films. So for creating overhead light we use a simple trick. We use the same spotlight modifier, shape the beam to the size we wanted, and aimed it at the ceiling. The ceiling became our new source, giving us a soft overhead effect without needing to rig fixture above the actor. To control the spill, we added a black fabric skirt around the bones area, keeping the light focused exactly where we want it. For this setup, I made the light to 3250 Kelvin to blend with the practical light in the scene. The output was set to 25.7%. These setups are just starting points. The goal isn't copy them exactly, but understand the principles behind them. The key point is that you don't always need more lights. Sometimes it's about getting more from one you already have. Experiment with position, angle, distance and modifiers. Even small changes can completely transform the mood of a shot. So, before adding another fixture, challenge yourself to see how far you can push a single light. You might be surprised how many cinematic looks you can create with just one light.